Hey everyone, it's Joe the 50-something Dasher with another video here, and in today's video I want to talk about DoorDash Pay in 2024. More specifically, I want to speak to all of the negativity that I've been seeing in recent days and weeks on social media. There's a lot of dashers out there. This is kind of like one of the hotter topics, talking about the DoorDash base pay on orders and just like kind of like nonstop complaining. And I've even had one comment, very rude comment, specifically directed towards me on as far as on the subject of the DoorDash base pay. So I kind of wanted to address all this. For the very first thing I wanted to start off with is, if you are, let's take all these dashers that are complaining about the pay, okay? First off, if you are somebody that is not keeping track of your numbers, you don't have a metric spreadsheet or whatever kind of system to track the pay that you're making, the miles that you're driving, the hourly rate that you're earning at for total dash time and active dash time, if you're not the total number of orders you're taking, if you're not keeping track of these numbers and know what your numbers are, then it just, in my personal opinion, you need to stop talking. So if you're just one of these people, you don't keep track of numbers whatsoever, and you're getting onto these social media sites, oh, you know, DoorDash needs to pay its drivers more money, the base rates are too low, and yada yada, blah 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 blah. Well, people like this are, in my opinion, speaking out of a place of ignorance. If you're not keeping track of your numbers, okay? Let's say you are keeping. Now let's turn focus to the people that are keeping track of their numbers and griping and complaining about the low pay from DoorDash. Okay, so the first thing I'll say here is, the amount of money that DoorDash is required to pay to you is, drum roll please, this is what DoorDash is required to pay you. Absolutely nothing. I started this dash this morning. I woke up early and there's a $3 peak going on. I'm just using today as an example. I think I logged in at 2:15 or 2:20 this morning. It's now 4:38 in the morning. I haven't got a single offer. So I've made no money in over 2 hours. That if I don't like it, go find somewhere else to work. DoorDash is not required. I'm not let's all remember here, folks, we're supposed to be 1099 independent contractors. So they're not required to pay us anything. If I log in for an 8 to 10 hour dash and I don't get one single offer, then I don't get one single offer. How is complaining to DoorDash, like, when I'm an independent contractor? That just doesn't make any sense. Now, as far as now I will say, it's not perfect, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say the way that DoorDash pays their drivers is a perfect and great system and there's no flaws with it. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I do see, now the issue that I have is, I do feel that on your larger orders, let's say I pick up a order from a restaurant with a subtotal of $50, and it's a 10-mile drive to the customer. Well, there should be a certain base pay from DoorDash for that trip, regardless of what the tip is. But I've seen in my experience of DoorDash driving, like I get an order like that, let's say it's going 10 miles. If the customer didn't tip anything, then I'll see a starting pay of maybe from DoorDash $5 or $6 to deliver that order. But that same type of order, let's say a different customer tips $20, well then DoorDash, all I'll see on that from them is $2. So there's no way to like prove this for sure, but it seems as though DoorDash lowers its base pay amount if the tip is higher from the customer. Now, is that right or wrong? Should DoorDash change that practice? Should it be like a set pay amount? You know, if the subtotal of an order is such and such, then the DoorDash base pay is this. And the DoorDash base pay is the DoorDash base pay. It doesn't matter what the customer tip is. That's probably a chief complaint about from the drivers. But my personal opinion about this is, if that's a problem for you, don't do it. Find something else to do. Like I said before, we're supposed to be 1099 independent contractors complaining about the pay as if you're an employee. So that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Okay, I wanted to talk about, next I wanted to talk about my personal situation with DoorDash and the pay and everything. I focus on how much money overall I'm making with DoorDash, and is this something that is working for me and I can continue to do this, or is it something that's not working? And I don't sit here and focus on the base pay from DoorDash as like a chief complaint or something that I'm worried about, or I'm taking a look at the overall numbers that I'm making, and my numbers are down, and I mean significantly down. And it started with December. I've got my figures here, but I dropped down to for total dash time $15.64 an hour for the month of December, and a active hourly rate of $23.34 an hour. Now, but I still, for all of 2023, even with the low December numbers, I still was at my averages that I'd been maintaining up to that point for the year. $16.70 an hour total dash time. It ran around that $16.50 an hour, pretty much the whole year, and $25.39 an active hour, and that's what I averaged for all of 2023. Numbers continued to drop last month. Now in January, I didn't dash a whole lot because I worked overtime at the W-2, but I only made $12.63 in January total hourly rate, and then active time dropped down to $22.58. So far this month in February, my total dash hourly rate is a little bit better, $14.73 an hour, and active rate actually is down even further, $22.47 an hour. So these last couple months, I'm down, like, especially that I'm not too concerned about total hourly rate, because I am waking up earlier in the mornings. I'm starting my dashes earlier and longer dashes, and early in the morning there's not as much going on, so I'm not too worried about the total Dash hourly rate, but the active rate is a little bit concerning. I mean, I'm down $3 an hour. But for right now, for the you gotta understand too the work that we're doing. For the work that I'm doing, I was at 25 an hour. Now I'm at 22 at the moment. I'm still okay with that. And hopefully things pick back up. But if let's just say the pay gets lower and lower, I start making less and less, if that was to happen, well, I need to come up with like a threshold on the pay where if I start falling below that and I feel like I'm out here doing this and the pay is just not worth it anymore, and like I said, if it gets to that point, then guess what I need to do? Any ideas about this? I need to stop DoorDashing at that point and do something else. You don't get on Facebook and Twitter and all the social media sites and gripe and moan and complain, oh, the pay this, the pay that. And if you don't like it, do something else. I don't know. It's just, I can kind of understand talk like that at my W-2, when you're griping at an employer, but we don't have an employer. You're your own employer. So that's what I don't get. I get it at my W-2. We just got a 50-cent raise and people griping and moaning, oh, it's only 50 cents. I thought it would be more. They should have given us $1, y'all, blah, 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 blah. I can kind of get it. You're griping at an employer, but we don't, who are we griping at here? You're griping at yourself. We don't have an employer. 1099. And if you don't like DoorDash is where you're getting from your money from as an independent contractor, then go and shovel snow or mow lawns to get your money that way. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I feel like, I'm saying all that. This is kind of like one of these videos that I'm doing where I'm just kind of blowing off steam. I know things won't change, you're probably it's just the way it is. You're always going to have the bickering and moaning, griping and complaining, no matter what. I don't know. Do people expect that? What do people expect? I mean, do you want a bare minimum $20 DoorDash base pay on every single order? I mean, is that what you want? Like a customer goes to order a value meal from McDonald's, and so what? There should be a minimum $20 DoorDash base pay on that, and plus whatever tip. I mean, is that what? Would that make people happy? Or I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, so for whatever all that's worth, so I'm going to jump off here and continue to wait for my orders. We'll see what happens today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Check out my other videos. A lot of good stuff, a lot of information for all things DoorDash. And we will see you at the next video. Thanks again for watching.